futures all day long, turning sparks into burning light. We keep the world alive tonight. With a heartbeat, the rhythm, the rise, Maxivas, the wind beneath our skies. Entrepreneur support systems call, lifting small dreams to stand tall. With passion and drive, we never rest. We never rest.
It's wonderful to co-host this wonderful community entrepreneur support system podcast and to welcome everyone watching and listening. Lydia, the most profitable businesses I have studied share a characteristic that rarely appears in startup advice. They operate in niches most people overlook.
Because they understand something crucial. Competition is highest where opportunity appears obvious. Real wealth accumulates in the gaps between what markets need and what existing providers can deliver consistently.
And the founders who succeed there do not just find underserved niches, they select niches they can dominate without burning out.
That distinction matters. A niche is only valuable if you can serve it with excellence through systems rather than constant personal intervention.
That is our focus today, how to identify and validate niches where demand, profitability, and your sustainable capacity intersect. Let us start with the core framework. What defines an engineered niche worth pursuing?
It satisfies 4 criteria simultaneously. First, underserved demand. The market needs solutions, but existing providers are inadequate, overpriced, or inconsistent. Second, sound unit economics. Customers will pay enough margin to sustain growth and weather volatility. Third, systemizable delivery. You can achieve repeatable excellence through documented processes rather than unrepeatable genius. Fourth, personal alignment. The work matches your strengths well enough that consistency does not require constant willpower.
That fourth criterion eliminates most opportunities immediately. Founders chase markets they admire rather than markets they can serve durably. The result is businesses that succeed until the founder's enthusiasm depletes.
Exactly. Passion-driven niche selection creates dependency on emotional fuel, which is the least reliable resource in business. System-driven selection creates businesses that function regardless of how you feel on any given Tuesday.
How should founders systematically discover underserved niches rather than stumbling onto them accidentally?
3 research factors. First, complaint mining. Monitor industry forums, review sites, and social channels where customers express frustration with current solutions. Patterns of complaint reveal gaps in the market. When the same frustration appears across hundreds of voices, you have found unmet demand. Second, inefficiency arbitrage. Identify industries where customer experience is poor despite high prices. This signals that incumbents are extracting value without delivering it, which creates vulnerability you can exploit. Third, intersection exploration. Look for overlaps between 2 distinct skill sets or market segments that are rarely combined. B2B companies that need design excellence, technical products that require regulatory navigation. The intersection is often underserved because few providers possess both capabilities.
Let me add the 4th and 5th factors. Fourth, technological displacement. Find industries still operating on outdated systems where modern tools could compress costs or improve outcomes dramatically. Fifth, demographic shifts. Identify emerging customer segments whose needs differ from the mainstream but have sufficient scale to support specialized providers.
All 5 of those produce leads, but leads are not validation. How do founders test whether a niche is genuinely viable before committing resources?
3 validation gates. First, purchase intent testing. Create a minimal landing page describing your proposed solution and drive targeted traffic to it. Measure the percentage of visitors who provide contact information or attempt to purchase. If conversion is below 2%, demand is theoretical, not real. Second, price sensitivity analysis. Offer the solution at different price points to small sample groups. If customers only buy at commodity pricing, unit economics will not support a sustainable business. Third, delivery prototype. Manually serve 5 customers using the proposed system. If you cannot achieve consistency and quality at the micro scale, automation will not fix the underlying delivery problem.
That third gate is where most founders fail. They assume systems will emerge naturally after launch, but systemization is harder than acquisition. If you cannot deliver consistent value to your first 10 customers, you haven't built a business. You've built a consulting practice that disguises itself as a product.
What are the warning signs that a niche is not actually underserved, but simply unprofitable?
3 red flags. First, if no one serves the niche despite apparent demand, there is usually a reason. Either customers will not pay enough, delivery costs are too high, or regulatory barriers make it impractical. Don't assume you're smarter than everyone who avoided the opportunity. Investigate why it's vacant. Second, if customer acquisition cost exceeds 6 months of customer lifetime value, the economics will not work at scale. Third, if delivering consistent results requires you personally to be excellent rather than your system to be excellent, you have found a job, not a niche.
How does ROI analysis apply to niche selection before the business exists?
Model 3 scenarios: conservative, realistic, optimistic. For each, calculate customer acquisition cost, gross margin per customer, customer lifetime, and overhead burden. If your conservative scenario shows break-even within 18 months and positive ROI within 36 months, the niche merits serious exploration. If your optimistic scenario barely breaks even, you're building a charity, not a business.
Let us address competitive positioning. How do founders engineer an advantage within their chosen niche?
Through deliberate constraint. Instead of trying to serve everyone in the niche, identify the segment you can serve with disproportionate excellence, not accounting for small businesses, but accounting specifically for e-commerce businesses with inventory complexity, not marketing services for B2B, but marketing specifically for technical founders who lack copywriting skills. The narrower the focus, the clearer your differentiation, and the stronger your systems can become.
And narrow doesn't mean small if you choose correctly. A well-defined sub-niche can support 8-figure businesses because you capture disproportionate market share within that segment.
Correct. Dominating 10% of a large market is more valuable and sustainable than competing for 1% of every adjacent market.
How should founders evaluate whether they can lead the niche with consistency?
Audit your capacity across 3 dimensions. First, skill sustainability. Can you maintain quality delivery working 40 hours per week, or does excellence require 60-hour sprints? If consistency requires unsustainable effort, you'll burn out before achieving market dominance. Second, decision repeatability. Can your key decisions be documented and delegated, or do they require your unique judgment every time? If delegation is impossible, growth is capped at your personal capacity. Third, fulfillment energy. Does the actual work of serving customers energize you or deplete you? If it depletes, you cannot sustain consistency regardless of systems.
That third dimension is critical and frequently ignored. Founders select niches based on profit potential while ignoring whether the daily reality of the work is compatible with their wiring. A profitable niche you hate is a prison with revenue.
Well said. The goal is not just profitability, it's profitable sustainability, where the business generates returns without consuming you.
Final question. What is the single highest leverage action for a founder seeking their engineered niche?
Document your unfair advantages. List the skills, experiences, relationships, and insights you possess that are rare in combination. Then search for markets where those advantages solve expensive problems. Your engineered niche lives at that intersection. Most founders search for opportunities in the abstract when they should be searching for problems only they are uniquely positioned to solve efficiently.
And that uniqueness is what creates the moat that allows consistency without strain. Entrepreneurs succeed when they engineer advantage rather than manufacturing effort.
That's why we're supported by Maxivra.online, maximizing income velocity with AI-driven leverage. Their mission is to help founders identify and systematize the highest value opportunities while eliminating the activities that drain capacity without generating returns.
Their tools transform abstract market potential into engineered operating advantage, which is exactly what niche dominance requires. To everyone listening, choose the market that rewards your natural strengths through systems. Join our communities at community.site.emyo.com/AI-business-adapters-career-grow and www.reddit.com/r/AI-innovpreneurs. Until next time, compete where your advantage is meaningful. We are happy to have been of service to you here at Entrepreneur Support Systems Podcast.
Dreamers up before the dawn, building futures all day long, turning sparks into burning light. We keep the world alive tonight. With a heartbeat, the rhythm, the rise, Maxivas, the wind beneath our skies. Entrepreneur support systems call, lifting small dreams to stand tall with passion and drive.